The views and opinions expressed on the Tom Trento Show are those of the host, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the underground command post deep in a hidden bunker in hostile territory. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
Now, I don't understand it. I cannot understand why we have to run that crazy disclaimer before every one of these shows. Why in the world wouldn't all of you out there, even Greg and Vianne, why wouldn't all of you believe exactly the way I do and want to support these beliefs?
These should be your opinion.
They should be. My opinion, TrentoVision, should be your opinion. That's the way this works. What am I up here for, my health? Or to get rich? Both of those ain't happening too well. We're here to provide information so you understand how the world works, how you can take it apart, put it back together, and enjoy life while you're beating up the bad guys. Is that this camera here right there? Oh, we got some cool stuff going on today.
We're multitasking now.
We are. This is cool, man. Tom Trento. Hello, weekenders. I hope none of you had to use your get-out-of-jail-free cards with the bail bondsman. You avoided all of that. I hope you spent a lot of time in church. No time in the mosque. Imam, were you in the mosque over the weekend?
I was there Friday afternoon, of course. Juma prayers, silly man.
Question.
Don't be silly with me.
Yeah. That was a trick question. You got it, though. What do you do at the mosque?
We pray and we bang our head on the ground with our prayer rug.
Oh, you have a Zabita on your head?
A little one. I'm hoping to get it much bigger.
The Zabita, ladies and gentlemen, is the very intelligent and beautifully looking gigantic callus on the head of Muslims who bang their head on the ground to show that they're more spiritually superior than
very pious.
The infidels, the Christians and the Jews. But remember today,
it's called a bruise on your head. You bang your head against the ground. So.
Remember today the number 56. For this show today, that number is so critically important because it is the key that will unlock the essence of one of the segments, a critical segment of today's show. What's the number? Everybody needs to remember.
56.
56. Anybody have any idea what I'm referring to when I say 56? No. How could you? It's in my head. See, this is why the show is named after me, and we have to follow along here. There were 56 days from September 11th until November 6th, 2012. 56 days left in the hopes of a world leader who had aspirations, even as a little Muslim being raised in Jakarta, Indonesia, and then a little later as a communist being raised in Hawaii, and then getting a little socialism and anti-colonialism at Occidental and Colombia. And then joining forces at times with Louis Farrakhan and the NOI, the Nation of Islam, as one of the members organizing the 1995 Million Man March, getting involved more deeply there in Islam. 56 days from November 11, 2012 to November 6, 2012. And in those moments on November 11, when that individual and his staff saw that there were just 56 days left to win a second term as the most powerful man in the world, a second term where you can operate with more impunity, more aggressiveness, more disinterest in the destruction that you lay on the door of Western civilization. Those moments at the end of September 11 and the beginning of September 12, 2012, with just 56 days left to go, caused this administration, and you'll find out in a couple of days more about this, when Mark and myself are attending the hearings in Washington, D.C. Yes, on Wednesday, the 8th of May, we will be in that building, attempting to get in the building. In Washington, the Rutherford building, in one of the rooms there, to listen to the testimony of three, not one, not two, three whistleblowers who are coming clean and going to implicate key people in the Obama administration in an absolute cover-up on what occurred on September 11th in Benghazi, Libya.
But that was such a long time ago, Tom.
It was such
a long time ago, and that's such old news. I can't believe you're bringing that
Such
up.
a long
Such a long time ago. That's in fact that's what the press secretary.
And what does it matter anyway, to quote Hillary? What does it matter why it happened or how it happened? You really...
Yeah, well, who cares how?
Don't you have anything better to talk about?
I'm sorry. Let me just tell some
are
jokes.
You just a hater?
Okay, I'll do some of this stuff.
Yeah,
for a while.
because you're just so off base. It's such a long time ago, and who really cares why it caused? We know it's not a movie.
Didn't the statute of limitations run out on that murder?
I think it did. But think about it. What we want the audience, our listeners on WNN 1470 on the AM dial. Hi, everybody, all of you Boca Ratonians, South Floridians from North Miami all the way up to Orlando. It's just a couple of minutes. What is it, 7 minutes? I love this new toy I have here. 7 minutes after it's
called the clock.
It's called the clock.
I know you're used to the sundial. This is much more accurate.
Yeah, it's a cool clock, though. It's got like all different things on it. Yeah, I'm easy to entertain. But at 7 minutes and 55, 56, 57 minutes past 5 o'clock on the 6th of May, this Monday, we want to ingrain in your thinking the key to understanding Benghazi. The key is 56 days. The whole cover-up by the Obama administration. And when I read you some of the stuff later in the show, folks, that is specifically and de facto bad juju. It's bad. Hillary, you're in trouble. As much as the whole left loves you and Barack, I don't know. You may be in a lot of trouble too. We want you to understand that 56 days was the amount of time through which the interpretation of the Benghazi attack, the attack on Ambassador Chris Stevens and many others, occurred, and it was viewed as a political moment necessary to deconstruct, to downplay, to spin. And all of that is coming out now after 6, 7, 8 months. So Benghazi a little later in the show. Right now, though, I'd like to welcome our Tea Party community friends. Hi, Tea Party community friends. We need you to go to teapartycommunity.com. Sign up there. They ran a great program. I believe it ended on Friday about hands off our guns. You could see that on the homepage of teapartycommunity.com. Teapartycommunity.com is very simple. It's a mirror organizational entity visually to Facebook without all the restrictions, the leftist types of restrictions. It is more activism-oriented, more libertarian, conservative, save America, fight the bad guys. You need to be a member. If you're a member of Facebook, you got to be on teapartycommunity.com. And if there's one place to be, it's teapartycommunity.com. We are broadcast on the homepage every day, 5 to 6 East Coast time. And we're building a network of more and more key websites that will be airing the show. So besides Benghazi today, we're going to talk about Israel attacking Syria. We're going to try to make some sense out of this. Israel, Syria, Damascus, Iran, Hezbollah, the Golan Heights, all of this.
So crazy over there.
It is, and it's going to be in the news for a long time. Many people believe that the world could end on these events right now. I don't know, but between a few of the countries that are kind of involved, there's enough nuclear capability to really end the world as we know it. That's the frightening thing.
I know of a Shiite country that might be rooting for end of world,
They might be rooting for that because it's the beginning of their world, is it not? Let's see. It's Islam stupid? What a program that was. What a campaign that was, huh?
I took a lot of heat at the
You
mosque
did.
on Friday from
Yes,
that
you
one,
did.
Trento.
Mark, did you like that?
I thought it was right, spot on point. And,
Yeah.
and I noticed a lot of the other talk shows started to pick up on a similar type thing where they're saying, well, it really doesn't make any sense about this self-radicalization thing. You really stop to think about it, and we just pounded it all last week, and we're starting to see a lot of the other mainstream medias pick up on that concept.
Oh, you're in your little apparition box now. I see.
Oh, yeah,
on the
I'm in
monitor.
my little ghostly box.
You got a
Ghostly
head.
box.
You have a head growing out of your
Yeah,
back
yeah.
there. What is that? A guest?
Oh, yeah.
But I can't see. He's in the shadows. Okay. Keep your head down, guests, unless you want to be in a lot of trouble getting associated with us. There you go. Hey, nice set. I like that. Where am I? Over Africa? Oh, God. Oh,
You're right near Syria.
I'm over Mogadishu. And, oh, yeah, look at that right there. Put me in, like, I don't know, the Bahamas or something. Nah, I don't like the Bahamas too much. All right, Tom Trento here at 12 minutes past 5 o'clock. We have a full show, as I said. We're going to deal with Israel attacking Syria, Benghazi, and a huge disappointment that occurred last Friday, late Friday, the 3rd of May, the last couple of hours of the legislative session in the state of Florida.
Well, he put you in the Bahamas, Tom.
With okay, yeah, well, the Bahamas.
Jamaica.
Yeah. No, I've been to a lot of those Mediterranean countries, and I not in a hurry to get back. Not my most favorite places, but they're beautiful though. They're all kind of failed states, but that's okay. It's another story. I would like to get back to Italy. I would like to get to Jerusalem, which we are doing on the 30th of September for about 2 weeks, and you could come. We're going to start pounding away. The month of May, we want to get everybody signed up that's going to come with the United West, Tom Trento, Frank Gaffney, Bill Federer, Bill Murray, the whole crew. So we'll really be pushing it. Now's the time to make the commitment to come with us to Israel. What better time than when the world is going to be exploding in the Middle East? And, don't you want to be a part of history and see all this stuff?
And Armageddon is on the tour.
Armageddon, the Valley of Megiddo, is on the tour because we had Ronnie Wexler here. We're going to bring him back to go through all of that. We will go to Armageddon maybe a little early or so, but that should be fun. Come to my screen for a second, and I'm going to show you what we're doing today, and then we'll tell you a little bit about It's Islam Stupid and a little bit about Senate Bill 58. There we are. There's a bunch of jets. Are those F-16s? We have a fighter pilot around anywhere. Is that an F-16? What is that? Yeah, you think so? Yeah, I'm getting a yes. It looks like a yes. And the question we're asking, those are the Israeli fighter jets lined up. Will the religion of peace Muslims now stop slaughtering each other and attack the Jews?
Inshallah.
We have in Syria, folks, we have Shia fighting Sunnis, Muslim on Muslim, slicing each other's throats. Now that the Jews got involved, are they all going to go, wait a minute, why are we killing each other? Let's go kill the Jews and the Christians.
Such a better
Why can't
idea.
we-
Much more fun. Much more fun.
That's the very sophisticated geopolitical, highly intellectual question we ask. And then, like I said, we're going to go to Benghazi. And when you think of Benghazi, don't you think of Islam Green, Hillary Clinton, the former Secretary of State and the next President of the United
Actually,
States?
no. What I think of is when I hear Benghazi, I think of.
Clear. Benghazi happened a long time ago.
Jay
That's all.
Carney. Are the whistleblowers getting ready to take down Barack and Hillary? Andy McCarthy, our good friend and one of the authors of Sharia, The Threat to America, has written extensively on Benghazi, and he says that there's a possible avenue of impeachment, impeaching the President of the United States, not necessarily for the cover-up. He was probably protected. The camera is going to fall off with the camera in the middle here. It's starting to slide down the tape. Not necessarily going to the avenue for impeachment is not necessarily from any actions on the president's part, though the actions were on other officials in the administration, but more so on the lack of action. When you're the commander and the chief, you're supposed to do certain things. And if he did not do what he was supposed to do, essentially dereliction of duty, it could rise to the level of an impeachment category. So says Andy McCarthy, one of the key authors and one of the top prosecutors, former prosecutors in the United States of America. And then as we look into Benghazi and we look into Syria, come on to Israel if you come back to our screen right here. Come on, everybody, to Israel. Now is the time to come with us to Israel. We want you to come. And you can write me, Tom, at TrentoVision.tv. Tom, my name, at TrentoVision.tv. We'll send you all the information. And this is, remember that picture, Mark?
Yes, I do.
What happened that day?
2 minutes before, you said, we're here because there's a terrorist attacks happen here all the time, and then 2 minutes later, a terrorist attack happened right in front of us.
We're standing on the Mount of Olives, an area there, a mount overlooking the city, and the Golden Dome. It's not a mosque. That's it's basically the mosque. Al-Aqsa Mosque is next to it. We were standing there doing a little report saying this is the epicenter of terrorism in the world. And like Mark said, 2 minutes later, we witnessed a terrorist attack coming right down the little street where we were. We'll play that video another time. But two things. You can come out of here. And last week we did a great series. The series was entitled, It's Islam Stupid. I actually saw somebody's sent me an article and it said it's Islamic stupid, and I thought they were repeating our show, but somebody else must have picked up on that and used it's Islamic stupid like you were saying, and all we did was look at Boston and other jihad metrics from around the world, and we said what is the continuity or the connecting element of all these from the administration's points of view, sort of sudden jihad syndrome events popping up here and there. Is there any, is there any, that fell right in front of the thing. Is there any unique connecting fiber or element? And we said, yeah, it's Islam, stupid. The system of Islam connects the jihad activity worldwide. And the last time I looked, the United States was in the world. And it's connecting the activity of jihad, whether on the cultural side, which is jihad through useful idiot Christians, Jews, administration personnel, or jihad kinetically, jihad going aggressive through bombs in your mom's kitchen, vis-a-vis pressure cooker. So our series, It's the Jihad Stupid. 4 parts last week. If you can come to my screen, I'll show everybody out there how you can go watch this series. This is very important when you watch us. We archive all the TrentoVision shows at youtube.com. It's right there on your screen, /The United West. So you got to put a little slash in there. I'll put the slash in there for you because it looks like I didn't put it in there.
Your whole series, the feedback I got from Mosque was extremely Islamophobic.
Oh, what does that mean, Islamophobic?
That you are fearful of the Islam.
Yes. What's wrong with that?
There is no reason for this.
I am fearful of Islam.
Look, there's nothing to see.
Well, here's the problem. Abdullah. I'm a Westerner. I grew up in a Western worldview, informed by...
I thought you're from Jersey.
Yeah, the west part of Jersey. Actually, the north part. But I grew up under the influence of Greek thought, Roman thought, Jewish thought, Christian thought. You put all of that in a pressure cooker and you don't blow it up, you mix it around, and you have Western civilization.
Right.
And if you look at Europe and America and Australia and Canada and even South America, you see, particularly where the principles are applied, you see productivity, you see aesthetics, you see art, you see love, you see beauty, you see wonder, you see enjoyment. What do you see in, I don't know, Mauritania?
Sand and camels.
Good. No, take the oil money away from Arabs.
Oh, God forbid.
What have Arabs produced through all the years?
Pain in the ass. We have become some of the world's best terrorists.
Okay.
Name
that's
one
true.
technological advancement Islam has promoted.
I believe we were
One
the first
technical-
rocket-propelled people, no?
Yes, you were. We were there.
1001.
Yes, 1001, yes.
I forgot
We
the
invented it.
1001.
Man, this was many
That was
hundred
really,
years
really
ago.
good.
About
Many hundred
5 or
years.
6 months ago, folks, 4 of us were in Washington, D.C. We went to the National Geographic Museum, where they had a display called 1001 Inventions of Islam. We paid like $20 a piece or whatever to go in.
It was 20
Thank
bucks
you.
too much. I
Yeah, it
tell
was
you
$20 too much. It was really a comedy show. They had display, and there was only 1001. There was like 11 displays, and at one of them, they had a guy who took gunpowder from China and wrapped it around himself and lit himself,
And they're still doing it today.
and it shot him up off a cliff into the ocean. And they said this was the beginning of jet. And the teaching moment was that Islam was on the forefront of inventing jet propulsion by this guy strapping these tubes on himself and
Rocket propulsion.
rocket propulsion, more like suicide.
The first Al-Qassam, no?
So, in any event, I'm sure if you look hard and wide, you can see productive components in some Islamic countries, 56 countries somewhere. They are usually in spite of the system of Islam. And we're open to debate all of those things anytime, anywhere, any place with any Islamic apologists. Speaking of debating, we're going to bring you tomorrow or Wednesday a little debate between Imam Musri up in Orlando. He was
Always my favorite guy.
He was a right-hand man to Governor Charlie Crist. He was on a committee in the state of Florida. He's a Muslim brother. He's a former. He wasn't in CARE, I don't think. Was he part of CARE? I don't
No,
think
he wasn't part of CARE.
But what did he do? You guys busted him one day.
It wasn't really that big of a deal, but he was collecting money for Hamas inside his mosque.
Oh, no big deal. Okay, just
I mean,
a
it's
federal crime.
Just a federal, yeah, but he and when he questioned about it, he brought George Galloway in to do it. He said, "Oh, I got bad advice. I shouldn't have brought that guy in." Well, first of all, he said he wasn't there. Then after he said he was there, I didn't know who George Galloway was. After he realized he know who George Galloway was and collected money for Hamas, then I just got bad advice.
Yeah. So Imam Musri, the head of the Goldenrod Mosque in Orlando,
Owned by Nate, the North American Islamic Church.
all bad guys. He debated an atheist over the weekend. And one of our guys, Alan Kornman, went to the debate, got permission to tape it, set his camera up, and that started a big brouhaha where they were actually going to cancel the event because Alan would not leave because he had gotten permission and he has a press pass, one of our press passes. And then the next little part was they get the police. They were going to arrest Alan, and he properly said, no, I'll stop taping. Well, through some of our sources somewhere, somehow, we have a copy of the debate between Imam Musri and Don Barker, an atheist, debating whether or not God exists. And it's really a comical, two nitwits debating something. One that's 100% wrong, debating with another that's 85% wrong. And we may bring you some of that tomorrow or the next day. But right now we're going to go to Senate Bill 58 and the loss in Florida last week. This is really a very serious loss. The organizers and the drafters of Senate Bill 58, American Laws for American Courts, we're only talking about the Senate side in Florida, because on the House side it was passed. It passed in a dramatic fashion with a significant majority of the people. It got held up in the Senate side on some procedural issues. It was very evident that some folks wanted to kill it, even Republicans. There was bad advice coming in from very, very good, dear friends of ours who are Orthodox Jewish rabbis, taking a stand against it because they had aligned themselves with the ADL, which is a bad organization right now on these issues.
Very bad.
So all of this mess, but we'll just sum it up for you in this short video by Ahmed Badir, a gentleman that we have exposed for 8-10 years now as a Muslim brother, former head of CARE. He now heads up an organization called United Voices. Watch how he is gloating in what he perceives as the victory that he brought about.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm happy to announce that we have defeated Senate Bill 58, also known as the Anti-Sharia Bill, for a third year in a row. Our campaign to defeat this discriminatory bill has been challenging from the beginning. But because of your support, we were able to defeat this bill together. SB 58 is a bill that was crafted by a racist, anti-Muslim lawyer and pushed by anti-Muslim hate groups from across the country. It would have banned Muslim marriages, divorce, and child custodies if they're based on Islamic values.
You gotta be kidding me.
It would have
We fought
tied
back,
Muslims up
not
with duct
because
tape.
this bill is only anti-Muslim, but because it's anti-American.
It's
We mobilized
anti-Muslim.
thousands of supporters to email, call, and pressure
Put us on
lawmakers,
split screen.
urging them to oppose Senate Bill
Or poke 'em in the
58.
eyes.
We organized 300 people from across the state of Florida
much over.
to the state capitol building to lobby lawmakers. We met with one senator in particular, Geraldine Thompson, who had voted in favor of this bill during committee hearings.
Yeah.
But after
Oh,
meeting with
yeah,
us
that-
on
this
the
is a bad
political
story.
day, promised that she would vote against the bill if it came back to the floor.
Ahmed
And that's
Badir!
exactly what she did, casting the deciding vote to make sure that Senate Bill 58 is defeated.
Oh, wait, I gotta
Senate
go.
Bill 58.
I can't go that way. How do I go?
Senator Hayes moves that the bill be read a second time by the required two-thirds vote. All those in favor
Listen
of
to the
allowing the
music.
bill to be read a second time?
This was a
will
screw
vote
job
yes.
here.
All those in favor, all those opposed to allowing the House bill to be read a second time will vote no. Block the board and record the vote.
25 yeas, 14 nays, Mr. President.
So,
26 votes were needed to move to second reading. Second reading motion fails. Take up to read the next bill.
This amazing victory sends a strong message
That was
to
a
lawmakers
victory?
in Florida and across the country that if you assault our communities, we're going to fight back. We're not going to sit idle as you destroy our Constitution and take away
Our
liberties.
Constitution.
put that one up,
And that's
Dave.
how
Put
the
that one
political
up.
process
Put that one
works.
up.
We could not have done this alone. We've had many partners, Muslim, people of other faiths,
Oh.
people of no faith, who helped us in this campaign. And thank you to them, Senate Bill 58 is now defeated. And finally, a special thank you to those lawmakers who stood their ground under great pressure and opposed this anti-American law. Today, Friday, May 3rd, is a
Thank
great
you, my
day.
Egyptian friend.
Congratulations to our communities and to America.
Okay, Badir. Okay, you win. Our hat is off to you. You successfully organized, and
Well, I love how he said he won.
I know.
Won 26 out of the
25 to 14.
25 to 14.
Yeah, he's the winner.
He's the winner.
yeah,
He had the 14.
Well,
we
you
had
got
the
to
25.
give the guy credit. He was the communications director for CARE for the state of Florida. He was in Tahrir Square in February 2011, helping overthrow Hosni Mubarak. He worked with various Egyptian tank crews. When he finished helping with the revolution in Egypt, he had a little layover in Washington, D.C., and he went as a VIP and visited the White House and the president. So he carries a lot of juice with him. He's now taking Muslim Day. He started
Carries
Muslim
Jews
Day.
with him?
Yeah, he carries juice, juice, J-U-I-C-E. He now is organizing Muslim Day in different states around the United States. He's on a roll. This is only going to help him. So look, this is a long war. Ahmed will, even though you and I, we know that you had nothing really to do with this.
Really?
We'll give it to you, okay? You beat us on this, and but
We'll be back.
we'll be watching you.
We'll be back.
Watching you, Ahmed. We're watching you. All right, now why do we need Sharia stuff? I mean, the whole thing about Sharia is completely ridiculous. There's no need for Sharia anywhere unless you're in Bangladesh. Because let's take a look at what's going on in that part of the world with Sharia. What they decided to do in Bangladesh, which has a sort of a Western-type democratic government, they're looking around the world, seeing the angst in the Islamic world and the Arab Spring. So the Bangladeshi said, "We want an Islamic government too. We want Sharia. We want this right here." You got it? Yeah, go for it.
Hit me.
Watch this video. Short video on what's happening in Bangladesh.
So then there have been running battles on the streets of the Bangladeshi capital Dhaka. The clashes between police and protesters have already claimed at least 3 lives. Islamic protesters are demanding the introduction of an anti-blasphemy law. They also want the death penalty for those who insult Islam or the Prophet Muhammad.
Hey, what a lot of
They've
fun.
ignored a government-issued ultimatum to protesters to leave Dhaka by Sunday. Kimberly Vinnell has more on the day's events.
Pelted with rubber bullets, a wall of protesters refused to back down, laying waste as they advanced through the Bangladeshi capital. Setting fire to cars and buildings, security forces held little back, turning the streets of Dhaka into a battleground. Demonstrators were answering a call from a fledgling group of hardliners. They're demanding a new blasphemy law and say offenders should be tried under the strict Sharia law.
This protest is to press for the 13-point list of demands by Hifazat Islam, in accordance with the Quran and the Sunnah, and we demand punishment for the atheist bloggers.
The atheist bloggers he's referring to are those using new media to advocate for a secular society in Bangladesh. And that's what the government of this Muslim-majority nation is fighting to uphold, a country governed by secular, liberal laws. Blocking off roads, protesters cut off the city entirely. And as the evening wore on, looters took over. And as opposition leaders continue to call their supporters to join the protests, Bangladesh must brace for larger rallies and more violence. Kim Vinnell, Al Jazeera.
Okay. The people say, why are you fighting so hard? You being a significant movement, counter-jihad movement in the United States, to make sure that the U.S. Constitution and the state constitutions prohibit the application of foreign law, whether it's Islamic law or Italian law or Norwegian law, so that an individual who happens to be a citizen with the due protection of the United States Constitution, the state constitutions, can maximize their rights if they fall into a disagreement or a legal situation with someone that wants to suppress their U.S. rights. Why are you fighting? Well, we look at places like Bangladesh and we say the world has been miniaturized over the past 10 years with this thing right here. Stuff that's happening that used to take 30, 40 years now happens in 2 years, 3 years. It's amazing. So to see this Arab Spring now going into Islamic countries that were trying to be Western and seeing the battles in the streets because they want the Sharia imposed alerts us to the importance of protecting Americans. And that's, I mean, the Sharia there is if you mock the prophet,
I kill you.
Yeah, kill you for real in those countries. So we know of what's going on here in the United States to suppress our criticism of Islam or any religion. And so we're constantly fighting. Plus, Greg and Vianne, plus sometimes a woman just has to fart. And it's just natural. Unless, of course, you are in Asia, Indonesia, because if you come to my screen, the Islamic City Council of Asia, Indonesia has banned female farting in Indonesia.
You gotta be kidding me.
Thank goodness.
What, is it a celebration of the or a banning for ozone, or what is this for ozone, like cow farting or something like that?
Global warming initiative.
Come back to me on this thing, because I'm going to try to get through this without laughing too hard. This is true, ladies and gentlemen. An Islamic City Council in the Indonesia province of Aceh,
Aceh,
Aceh, A-C-E-H, which follows the what?
Sharia!
Follows the Sharia, has banned female citizens from passing gas. And
what's the penalty for that? I mean, what's the punishment?
Well, here's the sign. If you come to this page, you got to see. You got to see the sign here. Let me blow it up a little bit.
Is this an actual sign?
Go full screen on that immodest flatulence prohibited. I cannot imagine that the city made the sign, but maybe they did. But come back over here to me, and I got to walk you through this real quickly, because you never know. This could happen in Tallahassee, Florida, where Ahmed Badir gets Sharia, because those folks up there love Ahmed Badir. Syed, the mayor of the city, told the media that a ban was needed as farting does not go well with the Islamic values of modesty. He said, this is the mayor of the city, Ashia, Muslim women are not allowed to fart with sound. Here's the rule, the Sharia rule.
Oh, so silent creepers are okay. Silent creepers are okay.
Muslim women are not allowed to fart with sound. It's against Islamic teachings, he said. Meanwhile, the Indonesia Feminist Association told local media they will attempt to block the smelly law as they deem it discriminatory. Talking to the mayor, this newspaper, the reporter said, the law aims to save people's morals and behaviors. And then the mayor, Saeed Yahia, said, when you see a woman fart loud, she appears like a man. But if she sits sideways and passes it quietly, she looks like a woman.
This sounds like a lot of Swiss cheese. It's got a lot of holes in it.
I got a technical.
This is for real, I'm telling you.
I got a technical question for you, Tom.
What?
If a woman is sitting next to a man,
who did it?
Yeah, that's right. Hold on, and someone floats an air biscuit. Who does she? Who does she? It's like, hey, hey, not me. Does that mean she gets lashes or whips or what?
Check reliance of the traveler.
Well, the word of a woman is worth only half of men, so obviously she was responsible.
She's responsible. All right, I'll give you one other little sort of indigenous problem that has to be dealt with here. Although the proposed law does not ban quiet fart, passing gas with sound is actually not common in Southeast Asia, particularly for women consuming potatoes and peas. Obviously, women maintain that they feel healthier farting loud. So they got a little indigenous problem. Because they eat a lot of potatoes and peas, they make noise. But these are the battles, folks, that we need to stand against and allow our women to make as loud a fart as they want in the United States of America, because the United States Constitution protects even that. Okay, who gave me this stuff? Where'd I get this stuff from? All right, now.
Well, there's a lot of crazy laws like that over there that they ban.
I got a new book on some of the rules that are associated with preparing for prayer that we'll take a look at. And we want Americans to know. I mean, this is, well, you're making fun of Islam. Yeah, we are. We're making fun of Islam, but our points are always on target factually. And we're showing the clash that exists between Western civilization and the Islamic system. And if I want to go and move to one of the 56 Islamic nations, do you think I can go there with the intent of converting Muslims to Christianity and changing the whole country?
I would love to see you try that.
Very nice. I'm sure you would. And my head and my shoulders would be in two different places at the same time. So, no, if I want to go into an Islamic country, I have to change the way I believe, the way I live, and I have to assimilate and choose to follow their worldview. We're just saying the same thing here. If a Muslim wants to come to the United States of America, to the West, they have to leave all of this craziness behind and accept the principles and the regulations and the opportunities that the West offers, and not come here with the intent on changing it. You certainly can do that, but then you're going to run into people like us who are going to show the ridiculousness through maybe a little bit of humor and through some very sophisticated analytical books too. We cover the whole gamut. But right now we got to go to Benghazi because in just a couple of days, Mark Campbell and I will be in Washington, D.C. covering the hearings for you here on TrentoVision and on WNN 1470. That's 1470 on your AM dial out of Boca Raton at 41 minutes past 5 o'clock on the 6th of May. All right, let's go take a little look at Benghazi. Let me stop and let me ask our brilliant staff out there. What's going on with Benghazi, man?
Oh, crazy, crazy things. It looks like Mrs. Clinton's 2016 plans are running into a little bump in the road.
Possibly. Mark?
My explanation is real simple. I take the White House's position on it. And the White House position is very, very, very clear and very succinct. And so just...
But let's be clear. Benghazi happened a long time ago.
You like that little soundbite, don't you?
Well, it happened such a long time ago, Tom. Come on. It's at least how many months ago?
Like 7 months.
I know. This is ridiculously how long ago.
Statute of limitations over.
Off for, this is just a hater argument now.
Yeah, well, what is actually happening? What is the big change? Here is the hearing. Let me see if I got anything new on this. Hang on, Dave. Come to my screen, please. This is the committee that's meeting at 11:30. 11:30 on Wednesday the 8th is the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Blow the whistle on fraud and abuse. That's a particular committee in Congress. Representative Darrell Issa is heading it up. And the hearing that's being shown or in process on Wednesday is Benghazi exposing failure and recognizing courage. Hearing time is 11:30 in the Rayburn building. And here are the witnesses on the right. Mr. Mark Thompson, Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism, U.S. State Department. State Department. Mr. Gregory Hicks, Foreign Service Officer and former Deputy Chief of Mission Chargé d'Affaires in Libya, U.S. State Department. And Eric Nordstrom, we've heard from him before, Diplomatic Security Officer and former Regional Security Officer in Libya. What department is he with?
State or CIA?
State Department. These guys are going to be singing like canaries against their former boss, Mrs. Clinton.
Unless someone's car has an accident on the way to testify.
Stranger things have happened. But summing this up, folks.
It smells bad.
It really does.
It smells worse than bad. I mean, it looks like the White House cover-up in Watergate. It looks like just a high school ballot stuffing box scam compared to this thing.
Yeah, I mean Watergate and all that. Yeah.
Watergate is small compared to this. I mean, here you're talking about 4 dead Americans. There weren't 4 dead Americans for breaking into an office building and stealing some docks.
And we have the Secretary of State, lying to Congress. We have who's the recent one that just got caught with what was that, Tom?
What?
Susan Rice.
Susan Rice. Susan Rice thing.
Victoria Nuland.
Yep.
Ben Rhodes. Yep. John Brennan.
Yep.
They all stink like dead fish.
What a time to have a radio show and a TrentoVision show on national security. Man, it couldn't be better.
You're going to have to go back to 3 hours, sir.
I know. Could you imagine how boring our show would be if Mitt Romney were the president? It'd be like, okay, what are we going to talk about today? Well, Mitt Romney actually drank whole milk instead of...
No, 2%!
No, 2%. No, he drank that, and there's a rumor that he had a sip of a Coca-Cola.
Oh, very bad for the teeth.
No, Mormons don't drink caffeine, so they can't have Coca-Cola.
Is that why he always looks a little tired?
A little tired.
Tom, let me ask you something. Do you think those 56 days had anything to do with the cover-up?
56. How can I do this? 56. Remember that. 56 days. this whole issue, and I'm going to go through some wild information right now. All of this has to be understood as President Obama, and not just the president, but when you are operating at that top tier as an elected official, you do this. I think I like some Chinese food. Okay, Mr. Special Assistant to the President, we'll have it there in 5 minutes. No, I mean food from China. I want my food flown in from China. And I was there a couple of weeks ago, a special restaurant. It's down in the Lower East Side of China. Can you have that sent over? Okay, it'll be there in a little while. You have, phone rings and I put it to my ear. You have that kind of power when you are in the inner circle of the President of the United States. You can fly wherever you want to. You can hurt people worldwide. You can change the direction of countries. And when you are on the Republican side, when you view your role in an elected office as a calling, and many Republicans, the data shows us that Republicans have a more firm and deeper and serious belief in God than Democrats do. They view this in the context of God calling them to use their gifts to serve mankind. Conversely, and this is a general statement that holds true for at least the past 50 years, conversely, on the Democrat side, these are ideologues coming out of the 50s whose desire, they hated America, they hated the whole Vietnam War, John Kerry was part of it, they loved Che Guevara, they loved communism, socialism, this idealistic view of everyone living together in a harmonious way, and they studied in all the crazy schools, the Ivy League schools, and now David Axelrod and Jay Carney, Newland, and all of these folks are there, and they have another 4 years to finish their transformation of the strongest country. This is what they dreamed of.
And this Benghazi, Benghazi thing's only distraction, right?
And now they have 56 days left to go to the finish line, and a terrorist attack by Al-Qaeda killed 4 Americans. They're done. They know we would jump on this and go, you failed on national security, and so they had to cover up. Did you know, folks, in America, did you guys know here, that a deal was cut? The White House had certain documents that the Senate investigatory committees wanted to see, and the White House said, we'll let you see this on one condition. Now follow along. This is unbelievable. The Senate investigative committees wanted to look at material that the White House was holding on the investigation of Benghazi. It's top secret material. And the White House said, you want it? We'll let you see it. Only the senators who have the top secret clearance, none of the committee men, because once it goes down to these select committees, that's a lot of times where it's leaked to the press and to other places. They said, we'll only give it to you top tier senators. We'll give you the investigative information about Benghazi. And the senator said, okay. Oh, but wait, there's a hook, the White House said. We'll give you the material if you do not, and here, I'm getting chills, this is so offensive. We will give you the material if you do not block the Senate confirmation of John Brennan as the head of the CIA.
You got to be kidding me, Tom.
That's the deal that was cut. It's just coming out.
Who's reporting this, and where's this come? Where's the sources on this, Tom?
Where's
the sources on this, Tom?
This is what we're going to cover on Wednesday. I'm going to go through it right now. All right, so folks, just summing it up, then we'll go through some of this material. Benghazi occurred on September 11th. And if you go on the street right now, we should do this. We should put some people out on the street next week. And just go up to anybody and say, Benghazi. What do you think is going to happen if we go to a town center someplace or a college campus and say, tell us in 1 minute everything you know about Benghazi?
Didn't he play Gandhi in the movie Benghazi? Or is that the same guy who you're thinking of?
There's going to be a lot of confusion of what the heck it is. But let's say we help them out. Benghazi is a city in northern Libya. It's on the coast. And on September 11th, something happened, and our ambassador, Christopher Stevens, and Sean Smith, his assistant, and 2 Navy SEALs were killed, and a whole bunch of people were hurt. And there was a lot of confusion over this. What caused the Benghazi attack?
That movie. That movie. It made them mad because it insulted their prophet. And I learned in my interfaith group meetings that we are not to insult their prophet.
Yep.
So that's what you get.
Yep. That's what they're going to say. The brilliant, literate Americans that are out on the street. We're going to do this. That's what you're going to get.
The nerve of those filmmakers.
Well, that goes to the fabulous propaganda job that this administration did, and the horrendous journalistic job that the mainstream media did in not only standing up, but in embellishing, infusing, giving life to, and slamming closed that narrative, that storyline. The whole thing is going to hell this week, folks. It's being busted wide open. And I want to show you this right now. Come down to, hang on. Well, let me show you this first. Let's see. On September 28th, number 2. Where am I at? 2, 1. All right, let's go here. Tom Trento at 52 minutes past 5 o'clock. I love this thing. 52 minutes past 5 o'clock. We are introducing the scandal that's taking place now in Congress. The whistleblowers, 3 of them. Today's Monday the 6th. On the 8th, there'll be a hearing, and that's open to the public, and they're going to come clean and say, we got information that the Obama administration covered up an attack by Al-Qaeda against Americans where Americans got killed. All right, look at my screen.
Did the senators
now
at least get the deal, Tom? Did they get their deal with for
Brennan? I'm going to read it right here. If you look at my cursor, I'm going to read it for you. The White House provided emails to members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees for a limited time with the stipulation that these emails, which basically exposed what took place there, these emails, and we'll look at those at a later date, I'm sure, once they're out. These emails were available for review only and would not be turned over to the committees. So the White House provided the emails to the members of the Select Intelligence Committee, the key members. They could not be turned over to the larger committee, the 15 people. Only 2 or 3 or 4 people had it. The White House and committee leadership agreed to that arrangement. I'll highlight this right here. Here's the bad stuff. The White House and committee leadership agreed to that arrangement as part of a deal that would keep Republican senators from blocking the confirmation of John Brennan, the president's choice to run the CIA.
Who we know from John Guandolo and is converted to Islam, and that's the reason he calls it Al-Quds.
And this is the Weekly Standard. This is a highly respected publication coming out of Washington, D.C. But think about that. You're a Republican senator that wants to get to the bottom of Benghazi. Now, this is right afterwards. This is soon afterwards, a couple of months afterwards. You want it. You don't want to confirm Brennan, but you want to get to the bottom of who the hell killed the Americans. So you're put into a paradox. You got to compromise your view somewhere. And you say, you know what, give me the damn material. Let me find out what happened. I won't stand in the way of your stupid Brennan, because he'll go flying down somewhere sometime. That is simply horrendous.
It's disgusting. And you know what's crazy of all is what happened in Benghazi was John Brennan's gun-running operation.
Yep.
So basically they're saying we're covering up Brennan's operation, but you better confirm him as the head of the CIA. The senators never should have agreed to that.
No, this was a bad deal. Now
it's
watch
disgusting.
This. I'm going to introduce this, and we'll dig this apart tomorrow. We'll also pick up on Israel and Syria tomorrow. These 1-hour shows, man. You know?
I hate this 1-hour show.
All right, this is the first draft of the CIA analysis of what happened. This is the first draft that occurred on Friday, September 14th at 11:15. Come to my screen, 11:15 a.m. And it's very important to see how it went from the initial CIA analysis to what the U.S. Administration, the Obama administration, actually put out. And the CIA is saying, and they've evaluated everything, we believe based on current available information that the attacks in Benghazi were spontaneously inspired by the protest of the U.S. Embassy in Cairo. So they saw what was going on in Cairo, and they said that involved a direct assault against the U.S. consulate and subsequently its annex. That's in Benghazi, an hour away. The crowd almost certainly was a mix of individuals from across many sectors of Libyan society. That being said, we do know that Islamic extremists with ties to Al-Qaeda participated in the attack. Now, is there any CIA connection of Al-Qaeda to the attack?
Yes.
Okay. The initial press reporting linked the attack to Ansar al-Sharia, which we all knew very early. The group has since released a statement. This is the CIA writing this. It goes on to say that Ansar al-Sharia said, we didn't do it, but a bunch of our people were there. And they talk about the weapons, and they talk about previous attacks, and they basically said this is a terrorist attack by Al-Qaeda on the 14th. On the 15th, take a look on my screen. The redaction by the State Department crossing out, and we'll go through this information tomorrow, all the violent stuff, all the Al-Qaeda stuff, crossing all of that out, all the previous warnings, crossing all of that out, and look at the third final version. This currently available information suggests the demonstration, the first sentence, the investigation is ongoing, and the U.S. government is working with Libyan authorities to bring justice to those responsible for the deaths of the U.S. citizens. They took all of that out, did not provide that information. Nonetheless, okay, so they just didn't want to tell us everything. That's okay, to some extent. Now, what happened on the 16th, Sunday? What happened on the 16th, Sunday?
Susan Rice went around to every TV station this side of the Atlantic and lied her tuchus off.
Just the opposite of what occurred.
Yes.
So on the 15th, they took information out. On the 16th, they said, let's go with our crazy story. You got to tune in tomorrow, folks, for part 2 of Benghazi. You be screwed, Obama and Hillary. You're going to go down on this one because this is pretty bad stuff. And the truth will set you free. Tom Trento saying goodbye to everybody out there. And it was great having Greg and Vianne with us.
Allah Akbar!
Yes. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.